on to Daytona, let's move on to this weather fun-filled week.
TJ, how many cars do you wreck down there? Just curious.
He'd say none. He'll tell you none. He didn't do anything wrong.
You mean how many?
How many cars did Brad drive through?
I usually set it by how many caught on fire.
Dude, he's common denominator.
Yeah, I know.
It's a lot.
21. 2 years ago, he dumped 21.
Well, that was bad. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Yeah, that was really that first year. Yeah, that was.
He
really
jumped
bad.
21 this weekend.
Well, 21's in a bad spot.
Yeah, was he
Yeah, because he's in front of you.
Yeah,
No, he was in the whole other lane.
He should have been in a better spot.
Yeah.
Damn it, Harrison.
Yeah, he was in a very bad scenario.
Yeah, yeah. There's a car outside me that's getting pushed by Brad. That's a bad spot. I got to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Bub, there's a guy outside with Brad on his bumper. You might want to just move to the left as far as you can.
I mean, I think if you look at the common denominators, though, it's guys that don't.
There's one common denominator.
No, there's.
It's Brad
no.
Keselowski.
It's the guy in the 6 behind him.
That's what you would say. I know. That.
I don't know which one of you idiots did it last night, but there was somebody on Couch Racing that wrote Brad Push with just a lowercase r, so it said bad push like we always.
Yeah, that's
is your radio working during all that? I'm just curious.
well, so
Yeah. My question is, like, if you want to talk about it, then
we're talking.
Oh,
I mean, we can get into why.
We
like,
talking about it.
We could talk about it because
Show me the data.
if you want to see how these happen, don't. I mean, the only reason that Denny didn't cause a big wreck in that dual race because he pulled up 7 mile an hour, 6-7 mile an hour slower than the guy coming to him is because McDowell got shuffled out right there. Otherwise, there's probably a bunch of us that are going to wreck right there. And these guys are pulling up.
But we didn't wreck, right?
Thank God, because one
Thank
got
God.
shuffled out of line.
Thank God.
I mean, we were all going to be piled into that one. These guys are pulling up with no run, and they just put the brakes on, and you don't really, like Talladega, Hosfar pulls up in front of Brad. Oh, my car doesn't drive very good, but I'm going to pull up and try to get pushed to the front. So if you pull up to the third lane, what do you expect to have happen? If you go to the third lane, what are you doing it for?
Yeah, you're trying to go forward.
You're trying to go forward. But if you can't take a push and your car's driving like crap, then why would you pull to the third lane without, first of all, no momentum? Like, if you're going to go third lane, what do? You build a run. Yep. You start it. You pull it.
Yep.
These guys are pulling up there, and the kid's spotting for the 42s. Like, I told him to go up there.
Who's spotting for him?
Blanchard.
It's like,
Mr.
but
Toe.
this is where you do your homework, learn how these guys
Well, I didn't think he did. He didn't do anything wrong. They didn't pull up with no momentum. They pulled up and you didn't catch them till off of 4. Like it wasn't like they pulled up and stacked you up.
By the time we got back, no, he stacked us up in 3 and 4. He absolutely stacked us up. We had to hit the brakes because John Hunter pulled up in the middle of the corner, and then we came back to him.
I didn't think that was a bad pull. I would have done the
No,
same
that
thing.
wasn't, but that formed the gap, and then he just stays up there to do that, and then we got a guy pushing us to him, so we're going to have more of a run. So the block started in 3 and 4 in the middle of the corner when he was doing I'm kind of going to come up, but I'm not going to come up. So Brad hits the brakes, and then the gap forms, and then we got the guy shoving us because we're in the third lane. We're trying to go forward, and you can only stay up there when you get to the guy, and then you're pushing a guy that you really haven't had a lot of experience, and everyone's lined up. And John Hunter, they just come off center a little bit, and Brad thinks he's going to be here, and John Hunter moves here 2 feet. All it takes is 2 feet with them bumpers. And when you come back, you're going to get hooked. So,
Guys, I think you had
It's
TJ talking more than he's ever talked on
Probably.
this show.
It's just a coincidence.
I fell asleep twice during that deal.
Well, everybody on Twitter wanted to know
it's like
what
the first
TJ's
stage.
take was.
There we go.
yeah. Well, I mean, do you, learn these guys need to learn the etiquette of trying to pull that lane if you're going to do it. Don't just go up there.
Listen, I think that deal was, I think that I thought Brad was more at fault on Thursday night than he was on Sunday or Monday, whatever it was. But because I think that deal was, I don't think John Hunter by any means was out of line for making the move.
He wasn't way slow or anything.
And then I think that he just got light off of 4 and Brad hit him at the wrong time and turned him. I don't think that was.
He wasn't stacking him
It
up
wasn't
bad
like he
there.
was shoving him and they got turned.
Yeah.
But that deal on Thursday night where he pushed the 8 through the back of the 24. That was a little bit questionable, especially when Brad gets on TV and says he didn't know the 24 was in that lane.
Well, so what happened is.
That's 100% your fault.
Notice that.
So what happened is when Blaney went to throw that block, Blaney went to move up and then came back. How many did you spot this weekend?
No, but I watched you wreck out the field every 30 minutes. Every time they come back from commercial to 6 and wreck somebody else.
Well, I'm glad you were there to witness it, Brett. Brad said he couldn't see the 24 or the 24 because
He said he didn't know he was there.
yes, because when Blaney went to move up, the 24 reacted in front of him, and Brad can't. Then the 12 came back, and as soon as we started pushing him, I'm yelling tight, 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 tight. But Brad didn't know there was still somebody in front of him because the runs happen so fast that I'm yelling tight, and by the time Brad lifts, they're already basically tight. So just
Now on to another wreck that happened, and Jeff Cluck tweeted this out.
who?
Jeff Cluck.
Jeff
Cluck. She
Cluck.
said
Oh, here we go again.
Did you hear
Bob
that?
Jeff
Crass and Jeff
Cluck.
Cluck.
You're the worst. He
I don't
tweeted-
make you say this
He tweeted out a few of the comments that Alex had to make about causing the big one. And Bubba, this is for you. He said he didn't even know what happened. That he had no idea he caused it. Do you guys just like black out? Because I feel like this is something we talked about with Ross too, where
You can't see.
or you just make it up.
So Alex Bowman is pushing the 24.
Seen
The
that.
24 causes a wreck, and Alex did not know what caused the wreck. He said he didn't know.
Right.
Said he couldn't see it.
Did he not know he was pushing 24?
He said, Jeff said, on the wreck with the bump, were you all just going for it? And what happened there? And he said, yeah, I didn't really see what started it. I feel like it started in the third lane. Like,
It did, right when you pushed William out of shape and he hooked the guys in the third lane.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know. I would have, if I was Alex, if that was me in that scenario, I would, that one's on me for sure.
Let me ask you this, though. I mean, you've been doing this a long time, and you're good at play racing, super speedway racing, whatever we want to call it. How much over the years has your ability to see gone down from when you started?
A lot. Actually, I take that back because I don't remember my first one.
That's good.
Yeah.
Usually
No,
the first
my-
one's the
I
best one.
My
finished
first
second.
one, no. My first one was when Joel was spotting for me in the 43 in the speedway, in the Cup car.
Oh, that's right.
in
July race.
Yeah, July race in 17. And I don't remember, but I've always been like the guy to. The spotters probably talk about us, but I'm always left. I'm always looking the whole race. I was super mindful of it because I didn't want to eat my words that I've been trying to preach to Harrison, who's run over me 3 times now, or Raja when I went to his ass after the truck race. But it's always being aware. When I'm pushing somebody and like we're trying to go forward, that's the only time I'm looking at that bumper to make sure I'm lined up. Other than that, I am spotting myself.
Thank God.
Yeah, because we got homeboy over here. Logano's leading both duels here. Like how the does that happen? But I am always
What?
I am always looking 10 car lengths up ahead of me. So
So you fade left so you can see.
yes.
Yeah.
And that puts me in a bad spot with the bottom line because if I'm running top, bottom line's there. Yeah,
gets
for
close.
sure. It gets very close.
That
but-
left rear gets close.
Yeah, but I'm mindful of that too. I'm like, okay, I'm crowding these guys. Let me come up. But I want to see what's happening because I see who's around me. I'm like, all right, you're fine. But, they're getting dicey up there. I need to watch this to call it in case he doesn't see it in that split second.
So I don't remember what year it changed, but I remember after practice, Elliot sat me down and he said, look, you're phenomenal at keeping me updated on the runs and the gaps. I can't see anymore out front. You got to tell me the gap in front of the car that I'm behind. And I'm like, holy cow. Yeah. So I mean, for you guys, when Alex says he didn't see it, he obviously saw himself pushing the 24, but he may not have saw what happened.
Yeah, but it's usually like, I didn't see the car in front of the 24 wreck. You
Now-
turned the 24 into
the
6 into the
Yeah,
22.
24 goes.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you should see that.
I hate
Right? Yeah,
you.
I don't know.
Now,
about
Freddie,
that one.
would you typically tell Bubba, like, yeah, that was
So, like, in that scenario, they looked like they were hooked up and they were rolling pretty good, pushing them. So, at that point, I'm just counting Bubba down to what we're going to hit, with what William was going to run into. It's 3, 2, 1, tight. And I think what got screwy was, like, you guys, not that you did anything wrong, like, you pulled down a little bit more, and William tried to, like, change lanes
He
to
was
fill
following
the
us,
middle. And I think he was, like, when he started to move at any time, like, once he moved, like, that push got him out of
You
shape.
can't move with the
Yeah.
Chevy bumpers that well. You
Yeah.
can't change lanes with those bumpers.
You know what's funny about that is, like, I go back to last year, and it was about to happen last night, but I am so like, I'm not going to push in the corners. Like, I don't want to cause a big wreck. Down the straightaways, I'll push you all I can, try to be center. batting record is pretty good at not causing a wreck.
Great.
Oh, here we go. Fuck. I just wadded up the field in Atlanta.
Yeah, here we
Don't
go.
worry, I'll wreck myself like I did last year. That's okay. But when it's last lap, obviously everything's out the window. I'm like, how in the hell are we not crashing right now? Because I remember pushing the 8 for a whole corner or a whole lap last year, and super easy. But 50 laps into the race, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to crash in. Other than that, I'm like, hang on, here we go.